Hokahi. Oh, mitakuipi. Tayahipi. Tayahipiro. Glad to see you all here. Can't see you, but in my mind, I could see you guys all sitting around your chairs, your couches, your desks, and everywhere. Um, we're having a little meeting, a little discussion here before we started, and we're talking about learning. We call it pedagogy in English, the style of learning, and they say usually we can only sit for about 2 hours or so, and then our minds kind of stop learning after a certain point. So we need those breaks, and sometimes us sitting here for 3 hours. Imagine sitting here. I never even think about it for 3 hours learning a language class. It can get pretty. You can get pretty tired, and the last thing that we want is everybody to feel stressed, because if you feel stressed, now you're not enjoying your learning your language anymore. And if you're not enjoying your learning your language, what's the incentive to, you want to enjoy it, right? You want to enjoy the journey instead of just trying to get to the end. Enjoy the every day. Cousin, I just saw one of your posts about enjoying the present moment right now. Don't and we can ruin the moment just by us being grouchy, being miserable, or being stressed out, or whatever like that. You could just wreck the vibe of a whole room, and even around the language itself. How many of you out there perhaps were trying to learn your language and somebody said, "Oh, you sound funny," or and it stressed you out, It stressed you out to the point where you didn't want to learn your language. I know for me personally, I was told one time, I can't remember what, I said some kind of word, and it was wrong. Like, and them, they all know I make a lot of mistakes up here. I try to make a point of being okay with me making a lot of mistakes. But one time I was speaking somewhere, I made a mistake, and Elder took me on the side. Just stick to English. You're not very good at Dakota. And I was like, said it in Dakota back. But I've heard stuff like that, and that's from very, elders, and it's scary. So it could be scary. So that's the kind of stuff that you get scared of, right? And so, but here I am. I'm still learning my language. I'm not going to get deterred. How many times in my life have somebody trying to push me down or call me down or say I'm not good enough, or just all kinds of negativity that you could hear in the community. Uh, I'm gonna push through anyways. I'm still gonna come. Still gonna learn. Still gonna keep going. I'm not gonna let anything stop me. The attitude that we had kind of said is we have that I'm not gonna give up mentality. I'm not gonna slow down. I might take a break once in a while here and there, but I'm gonna have this. I want hopefully this book by the end of the year is all beat up, because you're in it all the time, right? Or you're constantly looking for a new word, looking for something else to learn, right? Uh, so I remember a while back too. Um, I was watching a Kevin Locke video. I'm a fan of Kevin Locke. I don't know if you guys know who Kevin Locke is. He's one of our traditional teachers. Wana Ed Ushni. So we say prayers for his family. We honor him today. I know we said his name here today, and so we honor him and his family and say thank you for him and inspiring us to learn our culture, inspiring us to be Dakota, because he was really inspiring in that we made you want to be Dakota. Yeah, and he played what they call the flute, and he played those. Hokaga makes voice. It makes a voice. Hokaga, that's what they call that. And so he played those, and I have videos of him and recordings of him. Whenever he come to Sisseton, I would go and listen, and he really had a good way of giving you that good energy around the culture and the language and things like that. So one of the things too that we had said, it's always nice to have a little discussion before we start with the language, and kind of maybe in a sense orient us, or give us some inspiration or some guidance to move forward. Like in I would say this right now, in a Dakota community, it is so negative. It could be so negative. With the sicknesses that goes on, people passing away all the time. There's so much sickness. There's hardships. Family are having a hard time out there right now. To me, I think this is the time more than ever. Our language must thrive, because our grandpas and grandmas would have had an answer for all of this. To techinda each other, wo techinda, to have that, cherish one another, to love one another, to, and I was saying this before, Ukandam, they never said I love you, but they would say things like "Kiktach Yahadi," you're finally home. Oh my gosh, that was just like saying I love you. Because anybody that loves you, that's what they're saying, you know. Or Ahash Teha Yahi, it's too long since you came. Ahash Teha Yahi. That's so all those words I used to hear like that, and it was my Uncle Donald's way of saying I love you, but I never actually said Takoja I love you. that was you never hear that. But instead there was certain words that really made you feel cherished, and I think those kind of words are so important to bring back. You know, like that teha. Teha means a long time. Teha. If it's really a long time, you can say teha, like really drag it out real good. Teha. Teha, ya. Remember we talked about that? Ya, wa. Teha, ya, he. It's been a long time since you came here, you know, like that. And so that's the way I think, in my opinion, the language, or even just hearing Hotanshi, even hearing that is different than what's up, Randall? You know, it doesn't feel the same. You know, it doesn't feel the same. Oh, kunshi, ho unka, ho takosha. You know, oh, it's just so good to hear those things. And so, uh, those are the things that we want to talk about. Now, I've been promising too as well that we wanted to work on the wotakuye, the family kinship, and there's a writing that I have at home where it has a whole list of everything already, and geez, I can't find that. I'm trying to find that, so I promised y'all we're gonna get to that. Dushta, we'll get there. Dushta, we'll get to that the cousin, relatives, how the kinship terms. So important. But I'm sure online there's lots all over. Like a lot of the stuff that we're sharing, actually, there's stuff all already out there. We're just going to be another version of it here in Sioux Valley because I think every community needs to be represented. Every community should have a program. And then that way, for guys like me, I can go down and listen to the Sisitin or Sisitun, Achbetun, Ihanktum, all the different tribes, and I can listen to all the languages. I know there's one language program they have where they have an old kushi they keep playing for the Dakota. And there's a kushi that's recorded from like, geez, looks like it was recorded like 1950s or 1960s recording. Old kushi and Dakota kushi. Dakota. Dakota kushi. And boy, that's beautiful to hear. I can understand all what she's saying. It makes me feel so good to hear that. So anyway, a lot of these books here I bought personally because like I believe if you want to learn your language, you should invest. You should invest in it. You know, like some of us are saying, where can we get this for free? Yeah, you could get it for free. There are things you can get for free. Whoa, big day. This book here, you could get these for free online. What did you say? MF Nerd? MF Nerd? That's what it's called? Yeah. Right, that Manitoba First Nations education. I guess you can go online and yeah, you could find the website and you can just order them for free whenever you want to. So yeah, go figure. Yeah, so yeah, that's this doesn't cost any money to get that. But I got this book a while back, and there's actually, if you go online on YouTube, if you type in William Tompkins, he worked with all the tribes in the old days there, William Tompkins. And this is the guy that kind of started like the Boy Scout programs, you know. You know how like back in the 50s, everybody wanted to be an Indian, 60s, you know, like they put feathers in their hair and, you know, they were all, I'll be John Wayne and you be this, you know, there was the Indian stuff. So a lot of the kids were interested in, and so he had programs. And one of the things that they did was recorded our sign language. This is how tribes would talk between each other. We couldn't understand our words, but we would have the traditional language like this, and it's real cool. Oh, by the way, I brought a projector back from the States, so we'll be able to get this going out here, and so we'll be able to show some of those videos where you could see those traditional sign language. But I'm going to use this today to help us to learn some of the words, but there's some of them I do not know here, and some of the words here, we're just talking about them. There's a few. that I don't know, and so our elders they're mic'd up here today. They're gonna help us if I don't know the word, but or correct me, because that's the one thing that's like if you're gonna learn your language like this, you have to humble yourself enough to be corrected, enough to be criticized, enough to be, like you could think, oh, I know it all, but once he said, oh no, you got a mistake there. I was like, oh, well, he humbles you up, kind of like, but that's what we need is you gotta keep a humble attitude with this. That way, it's okay to be corrected, all that kind of stuff. So, if you want, you could go online, and I don't know where this one is. You could get. I think I got it like Amazon Books or something like that, or just like something like that online. This one's called Indian Sign Language. Indian Sign Language. But it's really good because, you could demonstrate the language versus just saying a word, right? And so I'll give us an example of that. I was kind of worried about it. I almost asked Elton for the handheld here for this one that I forgot about. Maybe we could do it later, or is it possible? Or for the mic hands-free one? Okay. Yeah. Because I'm probably gonna need that. So yeah, on here, and so I'm just going to give a few examples here of beginning, and it also creates a good discussion around words, um, and so we had this first word here, and I'm going to do this in English, and so that way we fully understand. But this word is also used for word throw, to throw, but it's the word for abandon. If you hold your hands like that over to your chest, and then you act like you're just throwing something down on the ground like that with two hands, that would be just once. Yeah. Maybe if you're doing it, like really abandoned, yeah, you could really do it like that. But it's also the word for throw away. So when I saw that, I said the old Dakota word for abandon must be the same as throw away, and throw away is achpea. Achpea. And by the way, takushicha kide achpea. Throw away this garbage, right? Takushicha is, or like, it's a short for daku shicha, something bad, but it's like takushicha. You switch it like that. Takushicha is for garbage. Yeah, yeah. If you ever hear somebody call you takushicha, that's bad one. You're garbage to that person. Just kidding. That'll be a brother-in-law that say that. Yeah. Takushicha. So the word for throwing away is like that. So I'm gonna show you guys this again. That's the word for abandon and to throw. But achpea would be that word. So I'll write these down as we're going along here. Achpea or throw. Achpe. Yeah. Now, root word here, chpe, would be to fall. Something. Obviously, if you're throwing something, right? It's falling. It's falling. It's falling on the ground. So here's an word, upon the ground, or throwing it, and ya means it goes that way, right? Achpea. Achpea. So you learn little words in this one word. And that's how I learned Dakota is I'll listen to a word like Unkanwa or Tuing here will teach me a word and I'll listen to that word and it sounds like you're saying this and ho, you got it right. That's what it means. So when I learned our language in the beginning, that's how I learned these little words like that. Because I like, for example, this word here, chpe, wa, chpe, right? Wachpe is leaves, right? Or like we could even say tea, wachpe, but tea and leaves, same thing. You're drinking leaves. So wachpe is when you say tea, some of you say that means tea. True, but it's actually leaves, right? Because how did we make our tea? Out of leaves. And so there's an action. There's something happening there. And then you see the word chpe, something that falls. Yeah. Really? So what's wachpe? Huh. Ape. Can we? Okay. All right. Jeez, that's I've been saying wakbe now for years. Yeah. So there's another word for it. Another way of saying wakbe. Ap ape is the word for just one leaf or like a leaf. Yeah. Hmm. You see, I always thought, you see, one of the things that I always thought with this is because of fall time, right? Or leaves are always like falling. Like that, like chpa or chpe, to fall. Okay, that's cool. So here's a little side note here, everybody. Uh, can we look? I'm just going to look this up real fast here. Man, you learn something new every day. That's why I really appreciate our uh, language learner speakers. I just want to, yeah. Uh, uh, Pedals. Yeah, see, there's the word wachcha, and so I found out that the word cha. Let's figure this out here. Going a little bit off topic, but that's how I am. That's okay. Okay, cha is blossom. Yeah, and so when you get wachcha, flower, right? So it's something. And then here's an interesting thought that I noticed. When you're an old man, we cha. It to me it seems like he's fully blossomed, he's fully grown, he's fully wichachcha or wichachche, like that. So it's little things that I've kind of looked at. What made me think of that was tatanka for the bull. Ta is taro, right? Meat, tanka, big. There's like a big piece of meat walking around out there, kind of thing like that. A lot of taro to that one. Ta tanka, big meat. And so I was like, is that how our language is? It's comprised of like little words put together, right? So little things like that I have learned over the time, where you could take these words and there's we cha is a man, cha is to blossom, but this is what we call an older man. We cha, yeah, we cha. So anyway, that's pretty cool stuff. Man, I'm gonna have to throw me through a loop there, okay? I'm going to learn that. Wachbe. Wachbe. Because wachbe that's what threw, like, they never said apekute. Is there a reason why? Yeah. So, like, for the wachbekute oyate, could you say apekute as well, or no? Okay. Achbe, like that. Okay. All right. All right. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Did you say here ape or achpe? Ape. So actually, that one's a little bit different there, like that. Ape. Okay. Yeah. Right here too. Ape. Ape. All right. All right. Cool. Wash day groovy. Uh-huh. Chanwapa. I remember that one too. Chanwapa. There was a community down south. I remember had that word in there. Chanwapa somewhere. Yeah. Chanwapa. Chanwapa. Yeah. Yeah. Specifically, leaf off of a tree, not a flower. Leaf off of a tree, specifically, not a flower. Yeah, that's a good one. Good one to know. Good one to know. It makes you wonder, like in the history, our grandpas when they said why they didn't choose to Chanwapakute, or like it makes you wonder why they didn't do these things. But I think those kind of we were talking about having podcasts, and sitting around and discussing and talk, really try to really break these words down and really think about them, like, and that way we could have, like I said, I think when you slow down and learn words like this slowly, it sinks in more. Instead of us saying 50 words here and you only remember two at the end of it anyways, right? Like, it's best to sit down and really look at these words. Yeah, so, uh-huh. Okay, so back to achpea. That would be the word here, our word here for abandon. But we just have to remember like that. But it's also to throw away. Yeah, achpea. So you can do that later on. Achpea, throw away. But two hands. Achpea, throw away. Yeah. It may be, or like really throw it away. Yeah, like do it, really throw it away. Yeah, yeah. Because in our language, I remember there's like badet chapse to shake something, but badet chapse to really shake it, right? You could say it twice. So I know Dakota do that too, probably with their hands to really emphasize something. Yeah. All right. So there's so we went through a little bit of a lesson here on the word leaves, leaf, yeah, petals. Oh. All right, so we went and looked at this word for aboard or to go on to something, and so we'll do the English version aboard, and then I'll show you the hand gesture to go jump on something, jump in a car, jump on a boat, jump on something, a dock, but to aboard something, to get onto something. So this is the sign right here. So the one that we learned earlier was abandon, achpe. Now we're gonna be aboard, aboard. And our Dakota word for that, what did we say? Oh yeah, akan. There's a little N in there on that one. You ever notice that? Yeah, this is one of an interesting word right here, because usually when we have this N right here, it's kind of like a sound. But this one you actually have to add a little bit of an N. Akan. Yeah, akan. And this little line right here tells you to take a little break. That way you don't say akan. This one will say akan. 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 And you'll hear this word later on, maka akan. Or yeah. You'll hear like maka akan nawaji. I walk on, or I stand on the earth. Maka akan mawani. I walk upon the earth. This is the word for on or upon. Any other ones? Yeah. On, upon. You get the idea? Akan. Akan. It's almost like you're saying gun in a way, but it's kind of like a kan, kan, akan, 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 akan. Opa. Now you usually I put that PB here, but not this time. It's actually a p sound. Pa, pa, not ba or ba. Pa, opa, akan opa. And then that's the word. So this is the signal for that, to board something. Throw away. We did that one. Now, upon. Upon. And then this one is the aboard. Yeah. You could say, so if you're telling your Tahashi there, driving along the road, and then he's going to pick him up, you can say, akan opawo. 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 Yeah. Opawo. Akan opawo. Yeah. Akan opawo. Get aboard. You're telling them to jump on, right? To get on. Akan opawo. Opa. Mm-hmm. Mm. Okay, yeah, yeah. We should talk about that similarity there, hey? Uh, yeah, opa versus opa. The kind of like a PB, right? B, opa is to join. Okay. Oh yeah. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah, opa like that, or opa with no with not that thing. Yeah, opa. Yeah, is to join. This one right here to join. So what you're saying is akan opa. So you're what you're not really saying board. You're not saying jump on board. You're really saying upon join. Yeah, kind of, sorta. Because sometimes I know for me, when you take it in the literal sense, it kind of helps you later on. Then you could realize it doesn't really necessarily mean that, but it kind of, sorta. Yeah. 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 Opa. So the one we're focusing on, because I don't want to get anybody confused. And so we want to just know this one right here. Opa. Opa. Yeah. But you don't want to mix it up with opa. Yeah. One little word like that, I know. And I think that's where a lot of people would make a it's a very reasonable mistake where they'll be able to make that later on, right? To join something or to enter something. So this is the one for enter. Yeah. Yeah. Enter. Akan opa. Opa. Akan opa. Do you guys hear this word? Or when's the last time you've heard this one? You don't hear it too often. Not too often at all. Yeah. Yeah. But now we will. There's one word we can reintroduce back in. Cousin, you'll be saying this a lot because you'll be driving people all over there, right? Get on board, right? Akan opaye. Akan opaye. Akan opaye. Yeah. Yeah, you could just say akan opa. Yeah. Akan opa. Akan opa. That's a good word for all of our drivers in our community to know, right? Or those of us that are always giving people rides. Akan opa. 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 See the difference? There's a difference. Yeah. Opa. Akan opa. But again, here's the hand gesture for that. To aboard something or to jump onto something. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Here's the word for in English. I'll do the English and then the sign for it. And this one is the word for above. So put something above. 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 So remember that. Above. All of them. So if a guy does this in Shaya or whatever, then you'll be able to understand. It actually I found out that most of our Rukang Kushi Pikihana they knew Hakatui really well, and I would say it's probably because of these. They picked up all the languages, and I found that actually most of our grandpas were trilingual, quadlingual. You know, they could speak many languages. Some of them. Right. Yeah. The hand gestures were to avoid war You know, and this went right down to south, way down south, all the way. Yeah, so it's all across, and it's a good way I feel to learn the language. And this was one strategy I think that helped me a lot. You know, because I have to feel what I'm saying, and it's a way to put the Dakota into your body. You know, you're putting it into your body, right? So it's just something to keep in mind. So this is the word. And so here's another idea of how this word right here might look like wakan. To many people, you'd see that word wakan. But this is a different one. There's going to be a G in here. Gun, gun. And then this one, usually we have the nasal, but you're going to have to say a little bit of that N in there. Just a little bit of that N has to go in here. Wakan. Wakan. Above. You could say wakantuya as well, right? What does that one mean when you say it like that? Wakantuya. Higher. Even higher. Okay. All right. I heard that one a lot. I always wondered. Wakantuya. So this is above, and this is even really higher, way up there. Wakantuya. So this is you could use for the word for higher. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Because I know so many people probably want to say wakan, you know, and that was my mistake. All of these were from my first mistakes. Yeah. You would not believe how many times I'd mess up my pronunciations in the beginning. Oh my gosh. And here, no, 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 over and over. I try. I can't get it. Certain words. Couldn't say tuchmacha for a long time. I couldn't do it. And then all of a sudden, finally, it came out. And they said, oh, you got it. You got it. Boy, it's repetition, 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 right? That's how we learn. So this is the word here. So we did it. This the word for in our English for the word for above. Now we do it in Dakota. Wakan. 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 So now Unka, next time we see Unka talking, he does that. You know he's talking about something about me. Next time we see Unka do that, Kushi do that with that sign language, something above something. Everybody's gonna go like this as soon as he does that. Wakan. Wakan. Uh-huh. Okay. This is a word that I've never learned in my life. So this is why our kushis are here, our Unka is here, is to help us. The word for insult. Storya, we choy here. Insult. Like if you're gonna hurt somebody with their words, rack their brains. If they can. Yushicha, you could. Yeah. Ksuya. Or like to hurt. To call somebody down or to insult or yeah, yeah. We can come back to that. Yep. Wachteshni. Wa oshte oshteheda. Washteheda. Oshteheda. That's a different. There's not too many people talk about those. You see, these certain words here we don't even really use anymore. Like Somebody insulted me. Huh? Yeah, yeah. I did too, but oh, wait, do you know? Dokadapsa. Oshte. I don't know. Let's make a little note on that, and it'll be a good word to bring back. Yeah, it'll be a good word to bring back. And so this word right here, we would talk about. It's 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 abusive words, but this is what they would. Um, it's almost like there's like a fork. You make a fork like this, and then you push it out like that, and it's a word for abuse or insulting, calling people down. Not saying calling people chosh, chun, whatever. You're negative, right? You're abusive with your words. You say mean things to people. You call them names and all that kind of stuff. So you're pointing your fingers inward or outward? Like this. It's almost like I would say, because a long time ago, that's a forked tongue, right? That was a bad thing. If you have forked tongue, in other words, you say one thing to this guy over here, you talk really good to him, and then over here, you're real mean to this one. Or they talked about the Washichu in our meetings with the government, how it was. They had forked tongue, and that's abuse. If I lie to you, that's abuse as well, I guess you could say, if I'm not honest with you. So to have a forked tongue like that, I'll tell you one thing, but meanwhile I mean the other thing. I'm going to go tell everybody else this on the side over here. That was a government word. And so I would even say Oshteheda would be that for, when they had that. So here's that little dot. You have to say the O first. O Shteheda. And then here's a little D here. Shte, because we're not saying shte. We're not saying like the T is softer, right? A little TD. So I'll put that, it looks like a TD right there. Shte. It's like a mixture of T and D. O shteheda. O shteheda. O shteheda. But we can search new words like this as well and look for new words, because I imagine there's like, we talked about that word for leaf. There was like 3 different words of saying that there on that one. So I'm sure there'll be a lot of words like this. Yeah, oshteheda. Oshteheda. So abuse. Do it in English. Abuse. Or insulting, with your words. And now we could say it in Dakota. Oshteheda. 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 Yeah. All right. So I have here the word for, I have to ask first, ksuya for ache or pain. Yeah? Okay, let's make sure. Next one. Here's the sign language for aching. It's almost like a sawing action. And it's over your, you have to put it over your chante. Yeah. Like, oh. It's kind of like a I'm hurting or I'm aching, or I imagine some people would just point to wherever it's aching, my head aches, point to wherever, you know, whatever's aching you. Yeah. But here's the word for pain. Ksuya. 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 You don't have this in English, this sound with the K and the S right side by side, so it might take a little bit of practice. Ks. Ks. Put that K there before the S. Ks. Ksuya. Ksuya. I always notice, and this is one of the things that we talk about with our young people, where does your memories, most of your pain, it's in your memories. So even the word for memory, to think something, kiksuya. So you'll notice, well, if you were to think of sad things, where does that exist? It's in the past, right? It's in your mind. So usually when you go into memory lane, that's where all your pains exist. There's a lot of joys there too. And so this is why it's so important for all of us to be more in the present moment, because there's no pain right now, unless you're hurting right now from a battle wound or something. But there's no pain right now in the present. It's usually stuck in the past. And so it makes a lot of sense that the word for memory could be kiksuya too. I always thought about that too, because that's where our memories, our suffering lives there. Your trauma lives in your past, in your memories. It doesn't even exist in reality anymore. It's just in your head, right? Yeah. Pa et un. It's in your head. And so, but the word, again, is for pain or suffering or hurting. Hurting would be the word, like I'm sore. Ksuya. Ksuya. And then you also, if you want to do the conjugations, you guys can do that. We already went through them. You guys can do that. Niksuya, like that. All the ksuyapi, all that. The conjugations. I think we even did this word already. So this word, the conjugations are in I'm hurting, you're hurting, we're hurting, all that. Yeah. But this is the word for pain. So in Dakota, this is the word for mia. Real easy, right? Mia. Yeah, mia. Actually, this in the old way, if you wanted to say Damakota, I am Dakota. Damakota. They used to call us cutthroats. I don't know why. We used to call ourselves cutthroats. Damakota. Yeah. Point yourself, and then act like you're slicing your throat with your wrist, with your thumb. Yeah. Yeah.
That's awful.
It is. It is. Yeah. But it could have been in the hunting, what they do, certain things, there's a story behind it. But actually, Dakota were known as very kind. According to the old historical records of all the other tribes, they were the kind people down by the Snake River. Other tribes, that was the name they had for us. And so I don't know why they said that, but Danikota, yeah. Danikota, are you Dakota? Yeah. Yeah. Are you a friend? Are you friendly? Are you an ally? Are you a relative? Are you cool? Yeah. I always want to say that when you go travel somewhere and you see a Dakota somewhere and you're traveling, Dakota, are you Dakota? And if he says, oh my gosh, you feel so good seeing a relative. And traveling down south, I just saw, I was passing through Grand Forks and I saw North Dakota, and there was an old Wichachjara and a Wakankara. They're driving, and I wanted to ask them. They're probably from Fort Houghton or something. I wanted to ask them, but I'm trying to rush home for language here. so, so this is the word. So we talked about aching. It's like a jagged. It's like you're like a sawing motion, like this over your heart. That's for the word for it. But now we'll change it to ksuya. But I'm hurting. I'm hurting. Right? So even I didn't have to do it in English. Oh, by the way, something really, really interesting happened with this. There was a young lady in South Dakota, She said, I always have dreams of my grandpa, but they never talk to me. They never talk to me in my dreams. They just don't say. As soon as she learned this, those old people were talking to her in the language, in the sign language. And then there was one of them said, and he says, I want to eat. I want to eat, he said. And she said, I think your grandpa's hungry. I had a dream that he went like this. So let's cook. Let's cook for him. So, something spiritual happened with somebody before with the sign language. There's something powerful about it. It's a universal, and even if imagine if you're praying in that, you could talk to how many nations in your language, right? And so maybe if you're in the Inipi, you could even pray like this too, like just. And now you can know in the Inipi, you're talking about like, hey, I'm really in a lot of pain. Oh gosh, Yeah. So anyway.
Where did you get that book?
I ordered this one online. Earlier I mentioned you can get all these online. Everything I get it online. Amazon, eBay, or whatever. Indian Sign Language. William Tompkins. William Tompkins. All right. Oh, hey, tried to write in English. All right, okay. Let's do this sign language here. If you go do this, everybody do that. And you could say across, like you're crossing a river or you're crossing the road. Yeah, across. You're going across Chunku, or you could say something along those lines. Yeah, go over there and come back. Stand on there. Akan ya, akan ya. Yeah, yeah. So so correct me if I'm wrong. Opta. Yeah, opta. Across. Yeah, opta. Okay. Opta. Right there. Opta. Sorry, I made a mistake here. But there's a little mark there, so you gotta say opta. Opta. Ksuya. Hurt. Yeah.
No, that's the Suya is that one where you.
Hurting. Yeah. Yeah.
And then the.
Cousin, now that you're here, you can just take a picture of this after.
Oh.
You don't have to worry about it. Yeah. 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 And actually, some of you guys might have phones over there. I'm gonna do something. I don't know if this is are we allowed to, can they just can I just show them? Okay. Because these are the ones that we're gonna do. I have a couple notes on there. I'm just gonna, you could zoom in too. Hey, here I am trying to run over there. Yeah. So you could just take even if you have like if you're on an Xbox watching a TV, you could take a picture of this later, cause, yeah, I'll come to you. But yeah, okay, we're good. So those of you, probably took a picture of your screen there. That makes it easier. That way we can remember. But you also have this video here we can get back to. You can watch this again later. You'll notice we're doing all the words because we're in the A's here. Yeah. But yeah, opta, across. Yeah, across the river. Wakpa opta. Wakpa opta. I don't know if there's a word for river in here. We'll figure that out. So you can put these sentences together, right? You say the word for river, and then you say across, right? Yeah. Opta. Yeah. Opta. Okay, so let's review. Wakan. Oshtehda. Oshtehda. Ksuya. Ksuya. Yeah. Opta. Man, it makes it easier to learn, hey? For some reason, how we learn in Dakota, we learn quicker. Damakota. Danikota. Danikota. Yeah. But actually, you'll notice if Unkan ever points to you, it's always like this. If Unkan ever points to you, it'll be like that. It never does it go that way. Never. Or even I saw them go like this before. Hey, hey, Kind of like a wave, but it was rude to point. I remember when I was a kid, there was a medicine man that came to visit. I was like, oh, look at the lightning. Oh, hey, don't point. Oh my gosh, it made me just scared. But they very disrespectful in those old days to point at somebody like that because it hurts people. It hurts. You can suya them, you know, you can hurt them. Yeah. So just little customs, cultural differences that we have in our culture is we're not allowed to point. I think that's why the lip thing came into effect. Uh, Pointing with your lips. Okay, here's a really cool word that I never even thought of, and now we're going into an interesting class. And so I've been asking um, Randall here. I said, man, I was like, what about us guys who are learning the language and get this? We need an advanced class, you know, for some of us. And so one of them that I wouldn't mind learning is, can you imagine doing a whole math and subtraction and everything like that in Dakota? Oh my gosh, I think we're gonna have to get to that point where we're gonna have to do that. So here's the sign language for the word add. Now it looks like the word for above very much. The word for above, I'm going to show you the different variations. The word for above, you notice my hands are like this hand's like this, and this hand's like this, and then I go like that. So wakan, or above. Yeah, wakan, or above. But now I'm going to do something just real interesting, and I'm going to twist this like this. Yeah, and now I'm going to go like this. That's our word for add. To add something. And so the Dakota word, would you say yuitaya? Yuitaya. Okay. Yeah. That's a pretty word. Yuitaya. 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 Can you look at a literal chant? Yuita. What would that? Making them come together. Yeah. Because there's that word kawita. So let's look at those words. That word wita is in there. So yuita, and then there's a kawita. It's when they gather, right? People, when people kawita, when they gather, yeah, into one place, like a huddle. If you see football and then they're all kawitapi, yeah, kawitapi, kawitapi. But this is the word for add. So in our English, we'll do that. Add, add. Like, so you could say chang yuita. Add wood. Add more wood. Yeah. So add like that. I'm adding something. And now we're doing Dakota. Yuitaya. 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 Oh yeah. You'll notice in here, we're not saying yuitaya. It's yuitaya. A little TD on that one. Yuitaya. Mix a T and a D just a little bit. We're not saying yuitaya like a D. There's a yuitaya. Yuitaya. A T and a D. Imagine if a T and a D made best friends and they say, we shall become one. That's what they've done right there. T and D have become one. Ta. This is why even Dakota, there's no Dakota. It's Dakota. Dakota. You say a little break? Okay, we'll take a little break. You gotta slow me down. I slop him. Slow this guy down. He's getting too much. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, mitakupi. Okay. We're gonna start. Wana ioptikta. Ioptikte. We shall start. I asked Duncan, I said, how do you say that? Don't point at me. So this is the word. Ahima bazo. Shni. The shni is not, right? The shni is the not part. Ahimapazo. You can break this down before, because later on there's going to be an ah in front of it. We'll practice that later. Say this part first. Himapazo, 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 himapazo. Now we'll add the ah. Ahimapazo, shni. Ahimapazo, shni. So you could do, if you, I always like to break them down. Hima, pazo, hima, pazo, hima, pazo, 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 right? Get it in your head. It's a new word. Pazo, 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 ma, pazo, hima. This is another way you can do it. Zo, pazo, ma, pazo, hima, pazo, ahimapazo. That's another good way of doing that as well.
Yeah, yeah, because Pazo is like being identified, right?
Yeah?
He's identifying me.
Identify. There's a word right here.
Mapazo. So people can see you. Right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Ahimapazo.
You came, it's almost like you came and identified me. It's like saying that. Hey, it's almost not necessarily you're pointing, but it ahimapazo. Ahimapazo. You're identifying me, or you're singling me out, in other words. But I think the elders might have done that, but you had to do something pretty shicha, hey, in order to get pointed out. Like you probably did something terrible, I imagine. Yeah. So that's why. Yeah, yeah. So anyway, I just thought I'd throw that word in there just for fun. You know, ahimapazo, because I wanted to know that. Ahimapazo shni. Ahimapazo shni. Yeah. Ahimapazo shni wo. You ever notice, like a long time ago, when they get real authoritative, they'll lower their voices? And they don't yell, they just lower their voices. Ahimapazo wo. Ahimapazo shni wo. Like that. You ever notice that in the old days, the grandpas, when they want to get serious with you, they'll lower their voices real deep. Yeah. Or even if you said something and they really agree, they'll lower their voice. Oh, oh, like that. Really. Or ladies will really sing it when they really agree. Huh? Like I heard that too. Yeah. Huh. I always talk about that, you know, like in the old days, that word "ho," like that. It used to be so nice when you'd hear something in the mumble of "ho, oh, oh, huh." Oh, that's the most beautiful sound in the world, man. And so when you hear that, mitaku was, it means we're all connected, we're all relatives, we're all in this together kind of thing. And then if you agree with that, like, yes, we're all together, we're all relatives, you say, oh, oh, oh. And it's so nice when you hear 40, 50 people, or inipi sweat like, oh, oh, all the men in there saying that. It sounds beautiful. Ahimapazo shni. Ahimapazo shni wo. So don't identify me, or don't point me out, or don't point at me like that. All right. Okay. Here's a new sign language. Advance. Advance. This is a good one. I have to ask Kukant this because I play war games online. That's one of the words that we're going to need to learn. Yeah, so imagine, Ahana, in the wartime, you would hear this. You would probably see our grandpas look at each other like that and quietly to each other. You imagine this came in handy in wartime. Oh my gosh. You know, when like to cross that road to the, they all cross a road like that in war, you know. So, but here's the word for advance. Advance. And the word I said was hedia. 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 Go forth, right? Head. It's like your head. Sounds the same thing. Head. Yeah. So when you put ya, what does that do? Yeah. If you put extra, like, or if you just, you could say it like that, right?
It's more appropriate.
Yeah.
I would say it's more appropriate to say iyaya.
Hediaya, yeah. More appropriate. Like, is that what you would call like formal, and then there's one non-formal, right?
Yeah. Like if you kind of shorten it, head iya, people might think Het iya also means speak there.
Oh yeah. Oh right. Yeah.
Het iya.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speak there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Het iya
Yeah.
mean to be
Yeah.
going, right?
Yeah. Hediaya. Yeah. Hediaya. Go forth. But now we could put the language here because we did this advance earlier. Go forth. Hediaya. Go forth, advance. Zuya would be another one. So let's do that one. What's the difference between Hediaya and Zuya? Oh yeah, in war. Oh yeah, Zuya. This is only for wartime here. Hey, all right. Oh yeah, you heard that word. Koda Zuya.
Zuya.
Yeah.
To advance in war or
In wartime,
battle.
Zuya.
Zuya.
But this is like non-wartime. Yeah, Hediaya.
Het iya.
Yeah, he went forth. Yeah, good to know that. Because there's a relationship between these two words here in a sense. Yeah. Yeah. Zuya. So I would imagine even that for wartime too, we could say that. That's where advance in, but this will only be in a wartime setting, we'd say Zuya. But if this is peacetime setting, Hediaya. Hediaya. Yeah, advance. Yeah.
So if it's wartime, it's just straight, and the other way is.
No. The sign language is the same.
Oh,
The wording is different. Yeah, yeah. I really appreciate your questions because your questions, somebody else has that out there, same one too. Yeah. Yeah. So advance, but that's it's to move forward in a sense, right? To move forward like that. Hediaya. 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 Yeah. The only time you'd say Dediaya is if you're pointing to a map or something, or you're like, he went right here, right? Yeah, Dediaya. Yeah, he went right here. Yeah, but how could you be here? Like, but it's only a time if you're like at a map. He went right here. He went over here like that. Dediaya. Dediaya. But this one's head. It's like over there, kind of. Distance. This is an orientation word right here. These words, I like to call them orientation words because they put you in a, like, where? Here, there, over there, here, up, down, where, like that. So that's an orientation word right there, head. Mahediaya. Or now to Hediaya. Okay. Whenever you see when you come home and then you notice that your dog got into the garbage outside and then he kind of puts his head down like this, kind of real scared like that. So it's the same thing in our language for fear. You kind of pull back just like this. You kind of standoffish. So this represents a person's like their head in a sense like that, but then they're kind of like, pull back a little bit like that. Yeah, but it's the word for fear, but we say kokipa, kokipa. I heard this kokipa on that word taku maza, chemani, for the train kokipa. They were afraid of the train. Kokipa. Remember that that movie? I heard this. You ever see that movie, Son of the Morning Star? There was an old Lakota movie on there. There's Floyd Westerman's on there too. He plays Sitting Bull, and they talk Lakota on there, fluid, nice, some of them, and there was a part there where those warriors, they caught the cavalry, and they were in all the counting coup, hey, wakute, like to count coup on somebody if you touched him like that. So they were touching him. He was like, "Oh, Astela," and they were touching him. He was going like that, and he said, "Ah, Ashte kokipa, kokipa." He was saying he's afraid, like that. So that's how the first time I heard this word right here, Kokipa. That was where I heard that. Okay, what does that mean? He says he's afraid. Kokipa. But this one right here, you got to have a K sound. This one here is a little bit of a G. Ki. Kokipa. So this one's a little bit of a KG on that one. Kokipa. And you notice we're not saying pa, it's pa.
You are saying
We are saying pa, okay? Kokipa. Oh yeah, we are saying pa.
You are saying
Kokipa. Pa.
Kokipa.
Is there an origin word on this one? Can you break it down? Pa. Something in your head? Kokipa. Yeah, kokipe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be presently he's afraid. Kokipa would be he was afraid.
He was
Yeah.
afraid, yeah.
Kokipe. That's a good point right there. You could add the eh, meaning
Yeah.
presently. Kokipe. Kokipe.
Yeah.
Kokipe. Pe. So not the PB, the regular P. Koki
Yeah.
pe.
Pe. Yeah.
Pe. Koki pe. By the way, we have people from Australia that watch this, and they're taking points on how we're doing things, and they're adding it to save the Australian Aboriginal language over there. And so they said that there's a few of us we can go. I'd like to take some of y'all over there to talk about these things. And because all over, they're trying to restore languages. They're dying all over. Aboriginal languages, and it's crazy. All the traditional, but I always believe it's because,
Australian or whatever watching?
yeah, there's a few of them that, and they're language teachers over there. Yeah, so we're just kind of comparing notes and how we do things and strategizing on how we can change things, working together, right? Helping each other out. Because like I said, however I teach this, don't ever say Jace's philosophy or how Jace does it. That's not mine. I don't have no way. You know, I'm just here to learn. I'm not here for my way or his way or, you know, the right way or whatever, you know. It's just our way. This is just one way to learn. Yeah. Actually, how I've been learning for a lot of times, I would go online and I would listen to like guys like Unkan Ozzy and Unkan Donnie, like the different guys. I'd listen to them online, and then one by one, listen to one word, pause it, find that word on here. That's how I did it. And then listen to that one word, walk around, say that word over and over, that one word. Yeah. Or if I was lucky enough to break down the whole sentence, if I had another language, what do they mean by that one? You know, like that. That's how I learned. Koki pe. Koki pe. And so, afraid. Koki pe. Koki pe. Koki pa. Koki pa. Koki pa. Afraid. Afraid of Dakota. Yeah. Are you afraid of the Dakota?
There you go, that's a sentence.
And then the Dakota, you said hiya. Hiya. That was it. That was the hiya. Yeah. Yeah. I remember a lot of times if you see guys, then they want something, they don't even shake their head. Yeah. Dakota version of shaking your head, no? You guys remember that? They still see some of the elders do that. They'll look at you. Yeah. I just love our people. Yeah, that's the reason why I'm doing this is, you know, like even in the 80s, some of those guys from like when I was a little boy, technically I was seeing the guys from the 1800s. You know, I was around when there's people from the 1800s alive. And I got a chance to meet a lot of them. Harkushi was from the 1800s, right? So, geez, what a gift to be able to see them and meet them and talk to them and see. I studied their ways. I'd sit there just like Kunshi, don't stare, you know. But I can't help it. I'm just fascinated with our people. And I'd had so many questions of like, who are we? What are we? What are we about? And Dakota said that I asked a lot of elders, and they said, what did our people desire back then? Like now, we're all about, you know, whatever we're all different desires. But back then, it was just harmony and connection. Yeah, togetherness was more important than anything. Things didn't matter. Nothing mattered. It's just together. Survival. They really had a sense of together community back then. And I've heard stories like even they were too humble. Like they're really humble people. Like, and some people would say it was too much where they didn't get things for themselves. And so I think, here's a different topic here, what we're talking about. What I think our people saw that. My Kushi's so humble, she got walked all over. I'm not going to be that way. Now I'm going to be mean and stand up and bossy and fight people if they say anything to me. Because look what happened to Kushi. You know, she's so humble, people walked all over her. But that's where the Omaha society was supposed to protect her, right? But they removed that society, that Iwakchi, Omaha societies in Okoda Kichia, we call it society. Okoda Kichia, yeah. So, yeah, they used to, Kushis never had to fight for themselves. They just have to say one little whisper, so I'll go tell him, and then that's all they have to do. Or sometimes if you see Kushi and she's going like that, oh my goodness, what are you going to hear now? What'd you do? We had a fear for Kushi. There was a natural fear of her because it's authority. She had the most authority. We were worried, like, oh, geez, Kushi's here. Watch what you say. Watch how you talk. And lately, over the years, I've noticed that's been changing. Hopefully, we can bring that back. Okay. All right. Okay. There's a word here that it's an old word. It probably from way back a long time ago, but I don't know. Okay, but we'll do. Okay, here's the sign language for sun. They talked about the sun, just like a little circle or like that. But if you could say afternoon, I've heard one version we chokaya, but I know there's another one. Is it like for like high noon? I've heard we chokaya, but there's another version, right? Wakantuya. Okay. We could do both, hey? But here it'd be wakantuya. We wakantuya, like afternoon, right? Like when we brought up this word already earlier. It's at its highest, in other words, right? We wakantuya. Yeah. And then I heard afternoon, we chokaya, because it's in the center, right in the middle. Yeah. Choka is the word for center. Yeah. I've heard that word. You'll hear this word at our ceremonies. Chokata nawaji. I stand at the center. Meaning he's not at the center of the universe and it's all about him. Meaning he's centered within himself. Not leaning to this way, not leaning to this way. He's not leaning forward, not leaning back. His head's not stuck at the casino or at the, addiction. He's centered. I guess you could say a person that loses their addiction and they're at peace with themselves. I stand centered, within myself. Yeah. And so actually that feeling of choka, that centeredness, by the way, because it's so important right now in our community, many of us don't feel centered, right? We don't feel centered, and because of that, we lose ourselves. So, chokata nawaji, I stand in the center. You could do that physically and center yourself and breathe. You feel better doing that. So, but anyway, this is the word, we chokaya, and then wakantuya. So the we wakantuya, it's afternoon. But here we did it in Dakota, or English, afternoon. Afternoon. The sun is right up in the afternoon right there. Yeah. And so once it's like that, and then so now we can add the Dakota, that Dakota version is we chokaya, we chokaya. Yep. Put your hand up, we chokaya, way up there. Yep. All right. Oh yeah, here's a kind of like that. We're gonna have to figure out how to put that on the computer, hey? That kg. We'll have to figure out how we're gonna do that later. Cause I think that's a big changer right there. Yeah, cause like so many people were writing, it's gonna be so easier to say wakantuya for so many people reading it, right? And so, and we're gonna have to figure out that later on. Maybe I don't know how we'll do it, but we'll figure it out. It used to be back in the old days, they take a little letter off and add one onto the printer, and you can make your own. And so right here, it's not tuya, it's tuya. There's a little bit of a D there. Wakantuya, wakantuya, do, 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 do. You're gonna want to say two with a T, but too much. Do, TD. That's what that means there. That TD. Duya, wakantuya, wakantuya, not wakantuya, but wakantuya, wakantuya. By the way, I really appreciate those that come to language because when I hear you repeating it, if it's not right, then we could re-say it over and over until I hear it getting tweaked. Oh, you're getting it, you're getting it, you're getting it, getting it. Then you got it, then we know when to move on. Because sometimes we think we all got it right away. It's easy for me to assume that you guys all got it right away, just move on. But if you guys are saying it out loud in here, I could hear the adjustments that need to be made. And I'm going to adjust myself too. We're all adjusting each other. Wakan. Wakan tuya. But that's this we chokaya. The we is up there, right in the top. Yeah. All right. Looks like this one. They're zigzagging up and down, down, up, down, like that. It's like you're making a little, jumping around like this. But it's, I guess it's like alive, like a deer running, or there's life, like that. But that's the word for alive. We would say wani. Yeah, wani. Wani. Yeah, so, just like that, something's running around, you see a deer prancing around, it's alive, right? So that's the word for it. So you could say alive. We'll do it all in English. Alive, alive, alive. Look, he's alive. You try and go get your deer there, and you're gonna just get ready to skate. And it jumps up and runs away. That's like, oh, hanach wanito, he's still alive. Yelling back to your guys up on the hill, it's alive.
Hey, Chita, there's stories on that when guys thought the deer is dead and they went to skin it and it jumps up and takes off. There's stories,
Yeah.
actual stories like that.
Yeah. Say, "Hanach Juanito," it's still alive. It's still. Jeez. But yeah, so we could do that there. It's just like jumping around, right? It's like something jumping, but that's, it's something for life. Wani. And so you'll hear this you can turn this into a prayer, by the way. Wani wachi. You can just put a word right here. Chin. Wachin, I want. Hey, wachin, I want that. Wachin. Chin. Gotta put the nasal in there. Hey, wachin. Wani wachin. I want to live. Wani wachin. Wani wachin. Wani wachin. Okay, I'm going to talk about it really, really kind of. There's some people that would say wani wachin. Now these days, there's a lot of suicide that's going on in our community. I'll talk about it real quick, because there's some people that say they don't want life. I would correct you on that one. It's not life you don't want. It's the life we're living you don't want. Sometimes, if you take somebody that doesn't want to live and you put him in a real Dakota community with love and family and ceremony and celebration and Thanksgiving and connecting with the old people, some people would say, okay, now I want to live. I know for most people, when they say they don't want to live, it's not, it's Washichu society, all about money, nobody loves me, that kind of, because in Washichu life, they put you in these little boxes, right? And then they kind of, you're isolated, alone in these little boxes. We're in Dakota, oh, Tashi. You can hear people talking outside because we're in teepees, our homes. You can hear everybody. There's always visiting. Nobody feels alone. Everybody's loved. Everybody's techinda, wo techinda. They cherish one another. We use that word chantohanaka. To have you're in my heart, I cherish you. And then we also had that feeling of, I need you to be strong for me, and I'll be strong for you. We'll be strong for each other, right? So if I hurt myself, I'm going to hurt you. So that was the old teaching. So this word, waniwachi, switched that, I want to live. Most people that live Dakota life, they find it so beautiful. And there's a movie that came out, the blue people, what are they called? Avatar. Avatar? Okay. If you watch the movie Avatar, a lot of the ceremonies that they did on Avatar were similar to Dakota ceremonies. So if they take a life, they say, "Oh, Pita," yeah, you're offering. They're thankful for the hunt. They're respectful for the animal. They're not there to hurt it. It's a relative. And so people that watch that movie Avatar, they call it Avatar syndrome, where they're so in love with that culture, they lose joy for modern society. But I was like, if you're falling in love with Avatar culture, you're falling in love with Dakota culture. That's who we are. And so watch the movie Avatar when you can, and you'll realize that, oh, they were Dakota, one with the land. They even had the sacred tree of life there. That was all of our way of life. That's our life they're living. And then you had other relatives, but they live different. They live in the water, just like Wakpekute. Some live this way. There's differences how we live, but we're all relatives. And so that life, that's when people say, "Waniwachi, I want to live that." Now I want to live. And so I just want to say that to a lot of those of you that are listening out there, because Dakota language is about family. Takuye, wo takuye. This is all, even if we break down our origin stories, it's all about family, connection. Wanjida, I used to hear that word, to be as one, one with each other. It was so important. So anyway, that's a wani right there. Wani, life or alive. Hey, wani, alive. Yeah. We'll move on from that one. Real important word. We'll be praying for all of our relatives. That we repair our homes. Yeah, you repair our homes and create a beautiful home for our children, our families, for each other. Yeah, yeah. Okay. So here's a word here for. We just use that word mitakuye oas. All of them. It's the same thing in English, I can imagine. All of them I want. I want, yeah, all. All of you come. All of you come. By the way, that's the word for Dakota for come. Come. Yeah. All of you come. Yeah. Oas. Hiu. Po. Yeah. You're going to use po in there because you are hiupi, yeah. Hiupi, yeah. Oas. Hiupi, yeah. You're going to use that one. So, but this is the word for all. All. But that would be, I have somebody wrote here, ataya oasi. Can you use that, or is this oasi will be good enough for me, I think? All. Oasi. Oasi. It's
Out there is more like
sorry.
I just thought about something out there. I just lost it.
We'll come back to that.
Yeah.
I'll write it here. Let's put a little note here. It could be said, right? But
It could be
we'll figure
said,
out what
yeah,
that means
yeah.
in a little bit. Okay. But so like how much do you want? Oasi. All of them. I hear it shortened to oas a lot. Oas. But the longer version, the extended version, oasi. Oasi. Not sin. Not sin, but sin. Little nose right there. Sin. That's a sound that you don't hear in English. Sin. Sin. You have to practice that one. Sin. Sin. Make your nose vibrate on that end. Sin. Oasi. Oasi. So those of you now in the sweat lodge, you're going to be saying it the extended version. Mitakue oasi. I've heard some people say mitakue oasina. It's the same thing, eh? That's another version. Oasina.
Means the same thing. You
It
can
means the
say
same.
it either or.
Mm.
Mitaki owasin.
Does
or
it change anything if
owasina.
you say na?
Uh,
Not really.
Doesn't change anything.
Would it just mean more important? It doesn't emphasize it or make it more or less. It's just the
Yeah.
longer version of
Yeah,
saying
the
it,
longer
right? Okay.
version, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oasi. Yeah.
Yeah.
So now we'll do it in the Dakota. Oasi.
Owasin. Yeah.
Oasi. Oasi. Oasi.
Well, yeah, ataya could mean all over.
All over.
All ataya.
Ataya oasi. So you can all over the place.
All
All okay, yeah. Ataya oasi. Yeah. Uha. Washiteru. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Next one. What time are we at? 7:48. Okay. Okay, I would say this one right here, real simple, all gone. It's all gone. All gone. Look at that dog, all gone. All gone. There's nothing there, like all gone. So like if your dog keeps wanting to eat and they're begging from you, and then you'd sit there and go, all gone. By the way, dogs learn sign language very good too. And so I used to have a dog where I used to go, and then they'll sit down. If you go like this, and he'll lay down. Like different things that he used to do. So dogs know sign language. So keep that in mind. And by the way, if you want to learn Dakota really well, get a little puppy and train it nothing in but Dakota. That's the best, Wota, Yutaka, Ishtima, Hanta, Hiu, Hiu, Yaya, all the little commands. Yeah. And so those are real good dog commands, are very good. And I would say we were talking about what's a beginner's class and what's more advanced. I think beginners would be just a one-word sentences, Yutaka, Hiu, I would say it like that, hey, like that. But so anyway, all gone. All gone. It doesn't matter, I suppose. Yeah, it just says, yeah. You can say right now, right? Now it's all gone. Or this could be word for wana. Now it's gone, like that. Yeah. But you can say wanicha, eh? Wanicha? Wanicha. Wanicha. That one girl on that man called her Hampa Gluha Wanicha, she said, or something like that. I can't remember what she was talking about. It was like something I remember. But that's what I heard. She doesn't have moccasins, Hampa Wanicha or something. Yeah.
Before you go on,
Yep.
Ska,
Mm-hmm.
I want to, I have to leave because of Takosa. But I wanted to say something.
Yeah. You turn that mic on there.
How do you?
Oh, it is on. It's on.
Oh, I
Yeah.
thought all this.
Yeah.
Um, Before I leave, I just wanted to address something. I've been coming for a while since, all this started. And I have Taku o te mija Dakota api oaka khenega woa da kegas tuata siu ke taku tena storuaisne.
Oh.
Hetche Ted makega anahopta makega taku ota iota wichoye handa oke kaksaksa ayapka ahan. I really understand what the meaning is when the words are cut down. So, I just wanted to commend this young man, Hetoshkawai. Dakota ia hetchet wanatu haya. A hayach, takok tena is a studiation gas takomni. Tena wokach ni gayo hega yatai. No nakatako ota iwohdake. De wani wachi he hege work ota beduha ukawichake oyate ke wana uge takwena ido waste chera awachimshne he o ichante mashiche yomak pishne de Dakota ke wani wachi he. That's how we should live. Ichita komni washitri api head huga colonization api hanata ku ota yushija. Dakota api nanakuka hedia. Dakota wichok aki na izanaku hana wana uge ichung kumsne. Katukte hana wastekta hetchet oateki oichung kapta. Yechiche hetchen nakahektena daya Dakota takuktena awiyukchamte. Ichi Dakota yapshinaka. They can't think in Dakota. Bisa de tuhantache he de tohne awibidukna. We got a heat gabade. I was driving to Brandon and I was thinking, do I think in Dakota or do I think in English? That was the question I had for myself. And I couldn't, it's kind of yes and no, I guess, for both. To how to say Dakota, I can think in Dakota, but most times when I think in Washichu, because that's the life I live. That's the life, that's out there. But I don't have to live that life if I don't want it. If people start thinking in Dakota and try to take their language back, we offer this every week. My relatives, my friends, take it upon yourselves to learn. Wana de woni hicha se hechach oya kumpe. To hunt the one de Dakota eapi. There's not going to be any more. Dwa de Dakota yekdishne. Cho na dead oya kumpe Dakota unki api. There's very few of us that can speak the language. Some understand, but they can't speak the language. So, I'm giving out that encouragement. Please, take the time to learn the language. It's not hard. You think it's hard? It isn't. De Kushkawa de Kayanaje, my nephew, he took it upon himself. Takomni Nakahe You know, he sees a lot of things that has happened in the community. And this is his way of helping our people. And I want to thank him for that. He's doing what he can because who else can stand up there and do the things that he's doing? He's very knowledgeable, not only with the language, but he knows his culture. He knows the songs. You know, that's the kind of people that we should be having. Young people, young boys. Like I have a grandson here sitting beside me. You know, he wanted to come, so I came with him. And I know he learned a lot of things, you know, and I'm proud of him because he is beginning to learn. So, you know, my relatives, my friends, do what you can. Help your children. You know, if you want to be in this way of life, you know, start coming or start learning from live stream Ayapi on YouTube. You know, put it on and listen. It's not hard. We think it's hard, but we make it hard for ourselves. But let's put our hearts into it. Kahaija, you know, we will be a better people if we live this way of life. We don't have to live in a negative way. We don't have to be carrying that wonawizi, you know, or to the way the, you know, sometimes, you know, we don't like people. Like why? You know, we can't say that. We can't say that we don't like certain people. We all go through daily things, you know, that we don't like you know, at no fault of our own. Well, now the Christmas season is coming, and I know there's going to be people out there that will be stressed over a lot of things with money, you know, food. You know, we don't need to stress ourselves out like that. There is Mochakea prayer that we can offer, tobacco, or even going to a ceremony. And, you know, that way of life can help us because we are Dakota. Dakota, na, long time ago, that was our life. The language, the culture, the beliefs, Wakantanka, Chandigha, Pijichota, you know, the sweet grass. Hana, those are what sustained us, you know, and we are here. And we, you know, I see a lot of people that have sweet grass, you know, displayed in their vehicles. Well, you know what? Use them in a proper way. You know, not instead of, you know, putting out there for show. Use them, light it, pray, smudge yourselves with it. It will take you a long ways. But I mostly, you know, I want to thank my Tushka, you know, for the awesome work he's doing. Wastewada kamishta ko ota studiega. Hana wopiakan oaga. Putting it on paper, teaching, you know, the ones that cannot come through a live stream. Pidawak, yeah. He's done a lot of work. He'll be a very good speaker, and I believe at that. We have to start believing in ourselves. So tana heichi tu e mi tāku api. Nana e pekta.
Am I on?
Oh, hina, yo pia woya hadake. Tāku e heki ho hina hechu tu do. Otaku eheke hina unkoka khnegaba. Yohama onip kaha. De oyan kampkinde. Au kai wichosh de uki. Wahina wopide chichik dero. Ochdaitu, I say thank you to your words, your kind words, words of truth. Who we were one time. What are we like today? Who are we today? Where we would like to go, Tokatakia. It's up to each and every one of us to find value in who we are. Who we are is our language and our culture, the things that we do. So I want to thank you very much. Heshechwaya hadaki. Wo wichaki iwaya hadaki. Wo pida tamka ichichedo. Ahechitiro.
Oh, oh, oh. Now, I just wanted to share a little point, like a real thankful Pidama for. I'm just honored to be here too. It's like a big wonyahan. It's an honor, wonyahan, for to be here, to help our people. And I said my younger life, I hurt my people a lot, when we're young. Now when we get older, we try to make it right, and help our people instead. And I know for me, and I know definitely for my brother Randall here, that's what we're doing. We terrorizers at some point, and now we're doing our best to follow the Dakota to heal ourselves, because we don't want to see our children sad and lonely and scared. But just a little, when I'm sitting here, see, this is what I talk about when I'm hearing the language speak, and I'm saying, geez, I never heard that word kaksaksa. So what's she talking about? What am I cutting? I'm sitting here trying to think of Wichoye kaksaksa. I'm breaking down words. Oh, that's a new one. So now I can say badaksaksa. Wichoye badaksaksa. See, this is how I learn too. When I hear you guys, when the elders are talking like that, boy, I'm just, my brain is just going for it. And so I really appreciate all of it. And so we're going to continue on. Henwiampik. They say Henwiampik. We're going to move forward as much as we can. And I saw a message there from my cousin there on Facebook too. I'm done with the past. I'm done with all whatever happened to so and so. Talk about, so and so did something last month or did something 4 years ago. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. What can we do now? Because we're gonna really pull each other down much if we do that. Huh? Oh, that's a hard word.
We have to learn to put Daku Shisha. Now we have to learn to put it aside. When we carry it, it's a heaviness in our hearts. So I read what she had wrote. And, there's truth to that. We don't need to carry stuff like that, especially at a time like this. We have to learn to forgive. And that's one thing our people, some of them, don't know how to do that.
Maybe check is the writing here. Attache dokte dokcha.
Attache
Attache.
dokchashni. CA.
Let me rewrite it here. It's a TD again. Dokcha. Attache. Attache. What's the breakdown on attache? How would you break that down? Attache.
Kind of anyways.
Anyways.
Yeah. Attache. Yeah.
Attache. How it is anyway. Doktashi. Dok.
Yeah.
Cha. Dokcha. Cha. Gotta practice that.
Kind of shortened for dokchashni.
Dokecha, right? Yeah. Dokecha. That's an origin word right there. Dokecha.
Yeah.
Dokecha. Yeah. That dokecha, you could also say that for why.
Why? Yeah.
Why is it like that? Dokecha, huh?
Yeah.
Why is it like that? Hey, dokecha. Yeah. Okay, I think we'll finish for the evening. And like I said too, we have snow on the ground. Yeah. Makakan ehenak. There's snow. Makaka ehenaka. There's snow put on the ground now. And so you could say we could start sharing some of our Uktomi stories. That's the one thing that I'm really excited to do. I'm just going to challenge our elders here. If you guys have a story, a real short one, we can share next time, and then you could just share it. And we're gonna go back, and I'm gonna break down all those words and all those new words, what I heard. We'll break that down, those Uktomi stories. It'll be fun.
Oh,
Hotunka copy was the word for our stories. Oh, I picked it. Okay. Be well.